It's extremely live, guys. Don't swear. Oh, well, you can swear.
Is it scanning my
We're alive right now. This is very exciting. So I'm here with the actors from Ice House. I'm really excited to introduce to you Tabby, Roger, and Greg. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is a pretty intense film. Can you tell me, mildly intense, can you tell me a little bit about going into the mind of someone who has so many secrets, so many things to hide, and creating that tension between actors? Because that's something that takes, I mean, people talk about chemistry all the time, usually in like love scenes, but chemistry is vital for also this other part of relationships. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Roger and I developed some good chemistry, I'd say, even though it's murderous chemistry, which is a new term you can have. It was interesting. It was certainly one of those things where you step back from the plot and you think about just the motivation.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it's all about what each character wants from the other character and what each character needs to move forward. And when you step away from the plot and just think about the motivation, like, what do I need to do? What are my problems as the character? The dark stuff just kind of comes out. Because in the end, we're all survivalists and we just want to do whatever it is that, you know, lets us be living and have food and have shelter. And so I know that I needed that in the film, and I knew that Roger and Tabby were my obstacles. So it really didn't matter that they were people or friends or anything. It was just I just needed to get through so that I could survive. So I guess that's where that darkness came from for me, is just my motivation. What did I need? So don't motivate me negatively.
hate chemistry?
Wow. I really like you. I really like you, Greg.
That's right.
For me, I guess I had some experiences in my life that helped me channel into the dark times, and it was a really great experience with Linda and Steve. They helped me get there, and there were some scenes where it was a little outside my comfort zone, and they really helped me be comfortable, and they respected me, and a couple shots of rum helped that out. So it sure did soften the blow. But yeah, it was a great experience. But what helped me get to the dark side was looking back into my old experiences myself and just reliving them.
Good evening. The dark side. Yeah, you know, I had a lot of fun initially exploring the script and finding out, you know, about this character and the quirks and all the intricacies, and both what Greg and Tabby said plays a good part in terms of thinking of your motivation and what are you wanting, and kind of what's the, you know, in everyday life, it's like we all, acting sometimes can seem like a mystery to a lot of people that don't do it, but it's so subtle in everyone's lives. We actually all do it all the time, and we don't even realize it. All the little manipulations, and you know, it's like, Bob, what do you think about this project? And, oh, I think it's great. God, or he's actually thinking, you know, or something. So it's that kind of thing that we all kind of play with. But in terms of just getting back, in terms of getting to the story, it's like what Tabby said, of finding things in your own life. I definitely do a lot of that with my work in terms of finding out what I can relate to with the character, kind of what I can pull in my own life to just make those emotions go full throttle, whatever it is. And like what Greg said, with you know, finding my motivations, and I spent a lot of time with the script, going over it and getting into all those little details and kind of playing with how he is manipulating and toying with him, and kind of playing with that and going to some, you know, kind of interesting and scary places in my head. It's kind of dark regions that were interesting to explore, but also you kind of start to realize, like, man, if I spend a lot of time in this place, it's, you know, you can manipulate your psyche in a way that is can be maybe not safe. So that's me in a nutshell. But no, yeah, it's very, you know, acting is a beautiful process, but it's also a very very sensitive kind of thing, and also too is you have to kind of, in terms of like when the project was over, I had to make sure to try to kind of be like, okay, look, you know, relax, pull yourself out, you're just a regular dude, whatever, look, you're not some whatever. So it's kind of being methodical about it is a great thing, but you kind of come back to reality and be like, okay, now we can enjoy it for what it was and the work and everything. So anyway, long-winded, but hopefully that gets to the point.
Yeah, that was excellent.
I think what a lot of people, maybe there's misconceptions about acting, is that we are manufacturing emotions, but that doesn't mean that the emotions are real. So you have to sometimes even pull deeper from like that deep well of sorrow or pain or wherever that is, but the emotions you get to are real. But getting there maybe isn't like a natural event, and it's a really strange, exhausting, and often very satisfying process. And so I know we don't have a whole lot of time, you know, because we're going to go see a movie. But can you tell me a little bit about either what you're doing next or what's inspiring you? What books are you reading? What music are you loving? Where do you want to travel to next? I want to know what's inspiring you right now.
So I live in Los Angeles now shortly after the film, and to be honest, this film was kind of a launching point for me in my career, and I'm so thankful that Steve saw something in that audition that helped me, and that was really nice. But right now I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm also a stand-up comedian, and I currently produce a show at the Hollywood Laugh Factory called King David's of Comedy, and I love doing that. I'm trying to get a little bit back into stand-up. I'm doing some Upright Citizens Brigade improv. I've been doing a lot more screenwriting, and I'm really loving because so much of as an actor, you're just taking in people's ideas and then creating something from that. But I'm really loving the process of creating my own ideas, and I've been doing it in stand-up for so long that it feels so nice to be able to do it in drama now too. And so I love screenwriting, and that's kind of a direction I'm going in. And I have a music video that's going to come out on October 24th. I'll post that on stuff. It's called Like a Ghost. Band is called David and the Curse. It's all black and white, film noir. I'll post it on my social media. You guys can check it out. But that's pretty much it. So I come back to Minneapolis. Oh, and I'm also going to be featuring an Acme Comedy Club in December, the week before Christmas. So if you want to come see some stand-up, the headliner is Jenny Zagrino. She's amazing. You're going to love her. And I'm so excited to work at Acme. So that's what I'm working on.
This was also a launching point for me as well. And so I've just been working on commercial work, print modeling. So I'm always got my feelers out for another project. So if anybody's out there, hey, hi, I'd like to do another film. So, and then also I'd like to say I'm really, really inspired by my peers. I am surrounded by such an amazingly talented group of people, and I'm so grateful that I get to be a part of this. So thank you guys so much, and thanks for inspiring me to be better.
Thank you. Yeah, gosh, every day. I live in New York City, so it's like, the urine on the subway is inspiring, So yeah, no, I moved to New York City shortly. I spent some time in Minneapolis doing some acting work, and I moved to New York City shortly before I was working with Steve on this. Steve and I had worked together on a short film before I moved, and I just loved working with him. I thought he was such a great guy, and when he mentioned he was working on this, it was like, man, try to be involved in some way, and ended up getting involved and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I'm just always plugging away in the Big Apple and auditioning and things. Auditioned for Gotham the other day. I can't say what it was, but it's not the joke or anything. It's obviously already been done, right? So, but that was cool. I never auditioned for that show before. I did a couple of shows earlier this year, Quantico and Blacklist, and do a lot of audio work, audiobooks. So every time I'm in my studio recording, there's always something in the stories of these new writers that I'm interpreting that there's new ideas. And like Greg was talking about running his own material, that's really important for writers to be able to do. And I'm trying to do more of that process on my own too, because with acting, it can be frustrating when you have downtime, and so you have to get those creative juices always flowing. And if you don't have a project, you try to write something, try to create something, and collaborate. So I'm just I'm very happy to be here. Happy to see all these faces that are going to see our film. So.
Well, in the words of improv, I hope everything you guys do is affirmed and amplified. So, yes, and.
I was waiting where that would go.
Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.
Let's go see a movie. All right. See you guys.